So, in the physical inventory, we look at the axial, skeleton, the perpendicular, and the overall. So, in this psychological perspective, we look at the components of the psychic. But this will have a new turn. We'll be looking at memory, imagination, will, and your emotion. These are the things we'll be looking at. So let's start with your will. Are you able to make decision? So your will is talking about your decision making ability. How firm are you to make decision? Some their willpower is zero. Some they are very, very, very strict with their decisions. How bendable are you to manipulation? How strict are you to your decisions? So your will, you need to take inventory. When was the last time you made a decision? You made a decision, and what was the decision about? Are you able to come in time with that decision early, or you struggle to make decision? You can take this as an example. The last time you went for shopping, how easy was it for you to make a decision on what to buy? Are you like someone who goes through all the shopping center before you can see what to buy, and you now come back to the first point? So you need to look at this. Okay, so I've told you why we are taking inventory, so that we'll know what we need to work on and what we need to reinforce. Okay, so you look at your emotion. Your emotion is also a seat of where you make judgments, but this judgment is about your feeling, your mood, and this goes a long way because emotion itself is like a gate. If your emotion is tampered with, it will determine your judgment skills. If your emotion is manipulated, it will definitely affect your will and what you would do. So, how do you respond to happiness around you? That talks about your emotion, your emotion. How do you move along with the things around you, with your environment, and your inner configuration? How do you come in time with your hormonal level, your hormonal imbalance? How do you respond to it? That talks about your emotion. How do you do those things? So look at it. The last time you went to work and someone talked at you, how did you feel? And how did you react? That talks about your emotion. And generally, look at yourself. Am I always happy? Am I always sad? Am I always outgoing? Look at yourself critically. You need to know how you look. Because, okay, let me talk about Johari's window. Johari's window talks about there's a part of you that you know that others don't know. There's a part of you that everybody knows, you know, and others knows. There's a part of you that only others know, you don't know. And the fourth part of the window is there's a part that none of you guys know. So you are taking this inventory so that you can know what you know, what others don't know about you that you know, and what others know that you know. So when you now move to the spiritual perspective, you can now know what you don't even know, which is a mirror of what you are trying to picture in the spirit. So in this psychological class, we want you to see how you look emotionally. How do you undo things emotionally? How do you undo things in making decisions? So we now move to memory. Memory is also an intriguing part of the mind, of the psychic, or of the soul, which gives us a glimpse of what has happened in the past. And how do you try to judge your memory? How retentive can you be? Can you remember? Some people they can remember when they were in primary two. Me, I can't remember. I think maybe the earliest, maybe the oldest memory I have in my head, maybe when I was maybe primary four, primary five, or something like that. Or if I sit so calmly and trying to think, that's when I can remember something of maybe 26 years now. It is going to be difficult, it's going to be very, very difficult for me to do that. So you look at that. And another perspective of your memories, how do you remember your hurts? How do you remember your good moments? And how do you respond to them now? Some people, if you offend them, they are not going to forget. To 30 years time, 50 years time, they would never forget. I have a friend in school. If you ask her today, what was the color of the clothes I put on the first time you saw me? That's about maybe 8 years ago. She will tell you, this was how you look. This was, I don't have that ability. So we have different memory abilities. So why are we talking about your memory here? You need to deal with your memory. If not, if you always remember hurt or negativity, it's going to affect your present and it's going to affect how you are going to see yourself, because your memory is your past, your imagination is your future. So if you are trying to look at your past, which is likely to be your object, and you are not trying to construct it to be better, and you are not having good memory, your imagination will be corrupt, which is going to be your future. So we need to look at this very, very, very critically. And the other aspect I would like to talk about is your intellect. How sound are you? How logical are you? How critical are you? How how understandable are you? So you need to look at this. If you have to rate yourself, you mean academics is not the best way to judge how sound or how intellectual are you. You may use, there are so many psychological tools like IQ, intelligence quotient test. We have so many even IQ tests that are not analytical in nature. So you can check, what is even my IQ level? Am I even thinking lesser than my age? So you need to look at your chronological age. If you are 22, you look at it. Do I think like a 22-year-old man? If you are 24, look at it. Do I think like this? So you need to look at your age, your chronological age, which is your numerical age, with your mental age. So you should know how intelligent you are. So if someone comes to meet you to ask a question, how do you respond? How do you think? What is your problem solving skill? How do you engage your mind? How do you engage your brain? It is imperative. So you need to take inventory of that. You need to take inventory. Okay, those are the components of the mind that I would like to talk about in this episode. Then you need to look at, what do you think? How do you think? So you can judge this when you are in silence, or you are in a very quiet environment and you are not thinking of anything. What are the thoughts that comes into your mind even when you are not engaging them? This tells you what you've been engaging. This tells you what you've been filled with. And it is imperative for you to look at this very, very critically. Thank you so much. See you in next episode. I am Isaiah. Bye bye.